All right, let's jump right into this explainer and uncover the profound evolutionary and honestly neurobiological truth behind why your dog insists on sharing your bed every single night. Because if you've ever found yourself literally pinned to the edge of your mattress by a snoring, twitching animal, well, you're about to learn that this nightly routine is way more complex and a lot more beautiful than you ever imagined. I mean, picture this. It's 2 a.m., your 80-pound dog has completely commandeered 80% of the mattress, and you're just left there wondering why on earth they ignore that incredibly expensive memory foam dog bed you bought them. Most of us just assume it's about comfort, right? They get cold, you're warm, the bed is super soft. Seems simple enough. But behavioral neuroscience actually tells a completely different story about what's really happening in their brains when they choose to sleep beside you. Section 1. Beyond the soft mattress. So we really need to bust this myth that it's all about a soft place to rest. We humans always kind of assume it's just about warmth. But the biological reality, it's completely different. Sleep is the absolute most vulnerable state any animal can possibly be in. I mean, every primal instinct inherited from thousands of years of predator-prey dynamics is basically screaming at your dog to find a highly secure den while they're unconscious. So when they bypass every hidden, safe corner of your house to sleep completely exposed right next to you, they're actually making a massive statement about exactly where they feel the safest. Section 2. Chemistry of canine bonding. Let's look at the hard science here, because this isn't just some cute behavioral quirk. It's a measurable physiological event. Researchers actually took a famous psychological test called the Ainsworth Strange Situation Procedure, which, by the way, is usually used to study human infants, and they applied it to dogs. And the results? They found that a staggering 61% of dogs are securely attached to their owners. That's almost identical to the attachment rate in human toddlers. When your dog chooses to sleep next to you, they are functionally mirroring the bond a human infant has with a parent. They're seeking out their secure base at their absolute moment of greatest vulnerability. And this physical closeness triggers something incredible. It creates this self-reinforcing oxytocin feedback loop, which was discovered by researchers at Azabu University. Basically, when you and your dog are close, both of your brains release oxytocin. That's the exact same bonding hormone that floods a mother's brain when she's holding her newborn. At the exact same time, your cortisol, your stress hormone, drops. So sleeping together is literally a chemical ritual that profoundly soothes both of your nervous systems all night long. Section 3. 15,000 years of evolution. Now, to really understand why your dog will rewrite their own biology just to be with you, we have to look way back at our shared history. This didn't just happen overnight. Over 15 millennia, dogs were literally shaped at a genetic level to crave human contact. Think about this. Around 14,000 years ago in Germany, a dog that survived a highly fatal illness was buried right alongside two humans. That proved someone intensely nursed that animal for weeks. They were family. And today, we know dogs actually carry unique genetic insertions on chromosome 6 that drive this extreme friendliness. Wolves simply do not have this. Your dog is literally genetically programmed to want to bond and sleep near you. But here is where they make a genuinely massive biological sacrifice. See, dogs by their very nature are polyphasic sleepers. That means they are hardwired to sleep in multiple short bursts around the clock. Humans, on the other hand, are monophasic. We sleep in one long, continuous block. Deeply bonded dogs will remarkably override their own evolutionary programming just to synchronize their biological clocks with your human rhythm. They literally force themselves to sleep deeply at night, not because it's natural for them, but purely because that is when you are resting. Section 4. Decoding their sleep positions. Okay, let's dive into decoding the secret psychological messages hidden in exactly how your dog positions their body on the bed, because I promise you it is never random. First up, we've got the donut. If your dog sleeps in a tight curl, they're shielding their vital organs and conserving heat. So they definitely feel safe enough to be near you, for sure, but they're still minimizing their vulnerability. It's absolutely a sign of trust, but kind of with their primal armor still firmly on. Now compare that primal armor to the sprawl. When a dog sleeps fully stretched out, with their belly completely exposed right up to the ceiling, that undeniably indicates total psychological security. A dog showing their stomach while unconscious genuinely believes that absolutely nothing bad is going to happen as long as they're in your presence. It's complete trust. Then we have the anchor position. This is when your dog presses their entire body weight right against your spine or your legs. They want absolutely zero physical distance. This actually provides them with really vital tactile emotional regulation. And tactically speaking, It means they're going to wake up the exact second you move. It is just an incredible display of profound devotion. And then there's the sentinel. Sometimes owners actually get a bit offended when their dog sleeps with their back turned to them or facing the bedroom door. But don't take it personally. In canine psychology, turning their back to you is actually the highest possible compliment. It means they trust you completely with their blind spot, all while their pack-guarding instincts kick in to monitor the perimeter and keep you safe. Finally, we've got the pillow thief. Dogs experience the world primarily through smell, which is tens of thousands of times stronger than ours. To them, your scent is the ultimate signature of safety. And because your head leaves the absolute highest concentration of your scent, burying their nose right in your pillow is a super direct, brilliant way for them to just bathe in your comforting chemistry all night long. Section 5. The truth about your sleep. So let's look at this really fascinating contradiction about how sharing the bed actually affects your own rest. You've probably been told your whole life that sleeping with a dog is terrible for your sleep, but the data is pretty surprising. Clinical sleep trackers from the Mayo Clinic prove that yes, dogs objectively disrupt human sleep. There's way more movement, shifting, and kicking. Yet almost every single participant reported feeling more comfortable, more secure, and ultimately more rested. The felt psychological benefit of sleeping beside a trusted, breathing presence is so fundamentally restorative that it completely overrides those minor physical interruptions. And this dynamic is perfectly captured in a fascinating 2024 University of Drivascola study. Researchers found that a dog and their owner's heart rate variability, or HRV, actually syncs up perfectly during shared rest. When you are calm, they are calm. When your stress alters your breathing in the dark, they immediately sense it. Sleeping beside your dog is not just some physical habit. It is a neurological event where two entirely separate nervous systems from two completely different species are actively co-regulating each other. Section 6. When the ritual stops. But having this profound connection means we really need to be vigilant. What does it mean when a dog who has always slept beside you suddenly stops? Well, dogs are creatures of strict habit. An abrupt change in their sleep location is often the very first behavioral sign of distress. They might be hiding pain from the early stages of osteoarthritis. In older dogs, disrupted sleep is a classic hallmark of canine cognitive dysfunction, which is basically dog dementia. It could also just be environmental shifts, like adding a new pet to the house, or honestly, even a new laundry detergent. Or it could be negative classical conditioning, like if they got startled by thunder while lying on the mattress. The point is, if they leave the bed, they are trying to tell you something is wrong. If you ever find yourself needing to reevaluate this whole setup, there are great decision-making frameworks out there that can help you determine if bed sharing remains a safe choice for your family. It basically walks you through assessing any new signs of aggression or resource guarding, evaluating hygiene or allergy concerns, and helping you figure out when it might actually be necessary to consult an expert or simply establish an alternate sleeping space for everyone's well-being. And look, if you do need to transition your dog out of the bed for health or behavioral reasons, you cannot just kick them out cold turkey. That's a recipe for disaster. A gradual 4-week incremental timeline is the best way to safely shift their sleep location. It involves moving from just playing near a crate to sleeping in a crate right beside your bed, and then very slowly increasing that distance. This gradual approach is absolutely essential to shift their routine without triggering severe separation anxiety. Because at the end of the day, their presence there is a genuine gift of biology and trust. As the saying goes, they don't sleep with you because the mattress is expensive. They sleep with you because your heartbeat is priceless. So, as you feel that familiar, heavy weight settle at the foot of your bed tonight, will you recognize it as an ancient, chemical pact of love 15,000 years in the making? Or will you just see it as a fight for the blankets?